You ever find yourself wondering why really, really smart people, maybe even you, still make some pretty bad calls or fall for simple thinking traps? It's kind of a frustrating puzzle, right? Well, today, we're going to pull that apart and look at a powerful way to get better at the actual skill of thinking. And it all kicks off with one single, absolutely crucial idea. Everything, and I mean everything, we're about to talk about starts right here with this one phrase from way back. The map is not the territory. It sounds so simple, but trust me, it holds the key to just about everything when it comes to understanding our own minds. So what on earth does that mean? Well, think of it like this. The maps are our mental models, all the concepts, the frameworks, the biases we use to make sense of the world. And the territory? That's reality. The actual, messy, complicated, unpredictable world out there. Our maps are super useful. We couldn't get by without them, but we can never, ever mistake them for the real thing. And that brings us to this huge trap that so many of us fall right into, especially when we first start learning about this stuff. I like to call it the temptation of the atlas. See, you start collecting these cool ideas. You learn all about anchoring bias and confirmation bias and the Dunning-Kruger effect. You fill your head with literally hundreds of these concepts, and you start to feel like you've got it, like you've built this perfect, complete atlas of how the mind works. It feels amazing, like you've just been handed the secret cheat codes to life. And right there, that feeling of being perfectly equipped, of being invulnerable to the very mistakes you can now put a name to, that is, without a doubt, the single most dangerous feeling you can possibly have. We have to fight that feeling with everything we've got. Which leads us straight into this fascinating paradox, a real twist in how learning about our own minds actually plays out. It's not nearly as simple as you'd think. This quote just nails it. If you read all about these biases and your takeaway is, awesome, now I won't fall for any of that, you have completely, totally missed the point. These biases aren't glitches that affect other people. They're fundamental structural features of your brain. This really drives the point home. We have this expectation that just because we can name the Dunning-Kruger effect, we're somehow protected from it. But the reality is, well, it's a lot more humbling. Knowing the name just gives you a slightly better shot at catching yourself in the act, and that's only if you are constantly actively on the lookout. There is no autopilot for clear thinking. It just doesn't exist. Okay, so if just knowing about these models doesn't automatically fix our thinking, then what's the deal? What is the real value of spending all this time collecting this mental atlas anyway? The real value, the true payoff, isn't in the collection of models itself. Nope, it's in the habit of mind that the collection is supposed to help you build, a habit that all boils down to asking 3 essential questions. Here they are. This is the whole toolkit. First, what model am I using? Second, where does this model apply? And the big one, third, where does this model break down? Let's just quickly break each of those down. All right, question 1. This one forces you to make your own thinking visible. You see, every single judgment we make is built on this invisible foundation of assumptions. This question makes you pause and actually name the framework, the lens you're using to look at the world in that moment. That's the only way you can start to really evaluate it. Question 2 is all about context. Every model, no matter how great it is, has a place where it works and a place where it doesn't. It's like a hammer is an amazing tool for a nail, but it's a really, really terrible tool for a screw. This question makes you ask, is this the right job for this tool, or am I about to try and hammer in a screw here? And finally, we get to the most important question of all 3, the one we are most likely to just skip right over. Every single model fails somewhere. It has limits. So the critical insight here is that finding that breaking point, that's not a failure. It's the exact opposite. It's the beginning of a much deeper, much more honest understanding of how things really work. So how do we make this a real part of our lives? Well, it's not about memorizing a list. It's about a complete shift in how we think about what it even means to be a clear thinker. You never just arrive at some magical state of perfect thinking. It doesn't work that way. Thinking clearly is a practice, like going to the gym or meditating. It's something you do day in and day out. It's always ongoing, it's always going to be imperfect, and you're never, ever going to be done. And when you adopt this kind of practice, you're in some seriously good company.
This discipline is the thread that connects the greatest thinkers throughout history. We're talking Aristotle and Plato laying the groundwork for philosophy, all the way to modern minds like Kahneman, Munger, and Turing, who totally reshaped how we see the world. They all had this one thing in common. They never stopped questioning. They were always testing and revising their own models, always pushing at the edges of what they thought they knew. Their real genius wasn't that they finally figured it all out and had perfect knowledge, because that's impossible. No, their true achievement was developing the mental discipline to think with incredible clarity and courage, especially when faced with a reality that is fundamentally complex and uncertain. The map will never, ever be the territory. It just won't. But a well-drawn map, one that you hold onto lightly and are always ready to update, is one of the most powerful tools a human being can have. Your job isn't to find the perfect map, it's to get better and better at drawing your own. So go draw better maps.